Krishna is right side because Krishna's foot is on the right.
Because Radharani is on the left.
Thank you, Maharaja.
So what is the language for Radharani?
Radharani. So it's like this. Up.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Shri Chaitanya-Manishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam-Rupa Kadam-Nityam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru-Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarvada-Raghunathantikam Tam Sajivam Sadhritam Savadutam Parijana-Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya-Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarvada-Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dishatarane Vancha Kalpataruya Jayapasa Sudhyadevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we should do a little kirtan first. Now the question may arise, if you cannot hear the kirtan, then why do it? Can any of you answer?
The vibrations?
Vibrations? Yes.
I can hear some of them. And also another half happy by seeing them. So half hearing, half seeing. Yes, we never stop. We continue enjoying kirtan.
The sound of the holy name is transcendental. And whether one can hear it physically or not, it penetrates and goes into the heart and purifies the heart, regardless of whether the physical ear can hear it or not. Two years ago, I had done a satsang for all of you. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where was it? At Bhakti Mataji's house. And I had mentioned to you one thing, that there are three kinds of senses. Do any of you remember? What are the three kinds of senses?
The three kind of senses is passion, ignorance, and goodness.
No. Those are the three modes of material nature. There are the physical senses of the gross body. That is the physical ear, the physical eyes, the physical nose, physical tongue, physical skin. Yes? So these are our gross senses. Then there is another set of senses.
The subtle body.
The subtle body. The sukshma shari, the subtle body also has senses. what is the proof that the subtle body also has senses?
Because we have mind.
Because we have mind, okay. So, how are the senses? What is the proof? Can you give an example?
When we dream, Maharaj.
When we dream, correct. What happens when we dream?
Physical body is here, but then mind, and it just goes to another realm, and then
Mind goes to some other place, but still some more.
It's going with the soul. The mind's going with the soul. Is that right?
I will give you a simple example, but don't get afraid. And that is ghosts. Ghosts have subtle body, but no gross body. They can move, they can see, they can act, yes? But in order to enjoy themselves, they need physical senses. So therefore sometimes they enter into somebody else, just so that they can enjoy through that person. But the subtle body has eyes. Otherwise, what happens when a person dies? The gross body is still there. So why his eyes cannot see? Why can't his ears hear? Why can't his nose smell? Why can't his tongue taste? And why can't his skin feel the sense of touch? It's because the subtle senses are no longer there. The subtle body has left the body, the gross body. So what is beyond the subtle? What is the third level of senses?
spiritual body.
Spiritual body. The soul has senses. The soul can also see. The soul can hear, feel, touch, everything. But in the spiritual realm. Now our soul senses are dormant. They are lying asleep. They have to be awakened. So what does Mahaprabhu say? Jiva jago, gora chandra pole. Yes? Oh sleeping souls, oh wake up, wake up. So the soul has a spiritual body, but that spiritual body is lying dormant. The spiritual senses are, so to speak, asleep. Now the spiritual senses have to be awakened. When the spiritual body is fully awakened, then there is no longer any need for the subtle material body or the gross material body. Then the spiritual body is ready, the soul is ready to go back to Krishna's kingdom in the Vaikuntha world. No need to stay on in this world and take birth again and again. So then, three types of senses. Senses of the gross body, senses of the subtle body, senses of the spiritual body. Okay? So, even if you're, now some of you who are here, you are not able to hear with your ears, physical ears. Correct? But your spiritual senses can be awakened with this sound. So when the transcendental sound penetrates the holes of your ears, it goes inside and into the heart. Then it does some churning, it's waking up the soul, wake up, wake up. What is the best way to wake up someone who's sleeping? Create some big noise, isn't it? If you make a lot of noise, the person will wake up. Correct? So how do you wake up the sleeping soul? Noise, sound rather, not noise, sound. But what sound? Not material sound. It has to be spiritual sound. So what is spiritual sound? The holy names of Krishna, the holy messages of Krishna like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and so on. So these are transcendental sound vibrations. So they will penetrate into the holes of the ears and they will reach into the heart, the spiritual body is lying dormant, and they will start waking up. Wake up, sleeping soul. They will go and do their job. So even though your physical senses are not able to hear, but your soul will hear. Your spiritual senses will hear the sound vibration. So therefore, even though you may be hearing challenged, but even though kirtan is going on, which your physical senses cannot hear, you will actually, your heart will be doing tumultuous kirtan. One of our devotees was explaining that she went to a school where there were only hearing challenged children. And she did a kirtan there, and she was leading and there was some music, and they were responding, but they were responding like this. And it was tumultuous kirtan, no noise, no sound, but tumultuous kirtan. Yes? You can't hear any sound that they were speaking, but their hearts were leaping with joy because they were chanting, their spiritual bodies were chanting. So therefore, the holy names have to be chanted in all circumstances. Even the messages of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Katha, even if you don't hear physically, even if you sit in the class, you will get benefit, even if you don't hear a thing. Now, you may have heard or seen that there are many devotees who sleep in the class. Yes?
Yeah.
Is that right or no?
Yes.
When a lecture is going on, they fall asleep like this. So do they benefit or not?
Yes.
They benefit. Why is it?
Because the sound is going in.
Because the sound is going inside, the atmosphere is getting charged. So then, the moral of the story is that we can come and sleep in the class. Correct?
No.
Is that right? No. There is something called Kaimutya Nyaya. Kim Putra Nyaya, which means for this so much, for that how much. Okay, it's a comparative, it's a logic that says if a person who's sleeping in the class can get so much benefit by being there, imagine how much more benefit will be obtained by someone who is wide awake and very attentive and faithful in listening to that class. How much more benefit that person will get. Yes? So whether it is a class, whether it is kirtan, if one simply sits in that atmosphere, one gets benefit. And do not feel bad that somehow or the other you are not able to hear with your physical ears. One of you said something very wonderful in that session 2 years ago. And one of you said, the best thing about not being able to hear is that we do not hear gossip. No prajalpa. Because so many people have so many things to say which are not useful and beneficial. So now you can't hear anything, so you're in bliss. So let us do 5 minutes of kirtan. Okay?
This one.
And you can follow with your language. Namo Vishnupadaya